Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from the podcast Her Healing Hour. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Number two, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your mobile phone or your computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor free app right now or go to anchor.fm to get started. Bye. Hello. Welcome everyone to the latest installment of Her Healing Hour, and I am your host, Lisa, also known as the AlkaliYogi. I have been pursuing all things holistic for a little over 15 years, and in the last couple of years, I have been training and acquiring certifications to make it my career. I'm also a co-host of 3 wellness retreats to take place later this year at Usha Village, home to Dr. Sebi. We are observing the pandemic and will reschedule the dates as soon as possible. Please stay posted at Alkaline Yoga Retreats or email me at AlkaliYogi@yahoo.com. An Alkaline Yoga Retreat is spelled exactly as it sounds, AlkaliYogaRetreats, whilst AlkaliYogi@yahoo.com is spelled AlkaliYogi@yahoo.com. And this space right here, this space that we're in, this is a space that I curated specifically for women of color, and men that are receptive to trying new things. I found myself unable to buy into the increasingly one-sided narrative found in the mainstream. And that led me to look for alternatives. Eventually, it led me to modify some behaviors. At the end of the day, though, if you come across things that simply don't serve you whilst you're in this space, simply leave it behind. Take only what you need. For when it comes to your health and your well-being, the choice should always be yours. With that said, this week's topic is, and wait for it, fashion. Kind of. I mean, we are going to speak about clothing because I want to know, do you think it matters if the fabrics that we live in, if they are neutral or synthetic? As self-proclaimed Mama Earth, I will of course argue that nothing compares to that which comes from the bosom of Mother Nature. Jitin Anand said, "Free your mind from toxic thoughts and your clothes from toxic chemicals." I would like to read to you an excerpt I took from a blog called Classic Cotton. The article was published on the 15th of August, 2017, and it is titled, "Why Natural Fibers?" I chose this excerpt, specifically because I found it to be very meaty, robust, and a well-defined introduction to the definition of what natural fibers are and where they come from. So, according to this article, natural fibers can be defined as bio-based fibers or fibers from vegetable and animal origin. This includes all natural cellulosic fibers like cotton, jute, sisal, coir, flax, hemp, abaca, and rami. and protein-based fibers such as wool and silk. For the fashionistas, forgive me right off the bat if I am mispronouncing some of these fibers. They are new to me as well. Moving on. Excluded here are mineral fibers such as asbestos that occur naturally but are not bio-based. Asbestos-containing products are not considered sustainable due to the well-known health risks that has resulted in the prohibition of its use in many countries. On the other hand, there are man-made cellulose fibers such as viscose rayon and cellulose acetate that are produced with chemical procedures from pulped wood or other sources like cotton and bamboo. Similarly, regenerated soybean protein and polymer fiber, biopolyester, also PHA, also PLA, and chitosan fiber are examples of semi-synthetic products that are based on renewable resources. Let's just take a quick pause here because I want the listeners to understand something. These fibers, although they are, semi-synthetic, right, in terms of how they are marketed, to your body are still synthetic. In other words, I want to make it clear that doing something halfway is really like doing nothing at all when you're looking to pursue health and well-being. So for instance, reverting from Coke to Diet Coke is really no better, regardless of who's telling you what. And here again, semi-synthetic products are really no more beneficial to you than fully synthetic products. So I would encourage you to just disregard them all the same. Moving on now, back to the blog. Each year, farmers harvest around 35 million tons of natural fibers from a wide range of plants and animals, from sheep, rabbits, goats, camels, alpacas, from cotton bolls, abaca, sisal leaves, coconut husks, and from the stalks of jute, as well as hemp, flax, and rami plants. Those fibers form fabrics, they form ropes and twines that have been fundamental to society since the dawn of civilization. But over the past half century, natural fibers have been displaced in our clothing, in our household furnishings, in industries, and in agriculture by man-made fibers with names like acrylic, nylon, polyester, polypropylene. The success of synthetics is due mainly to cost. Time for another pause, listeners. As the holistic lifestyle coach here, I am compelled to chime in here and state the obvious. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Therefore, you can either choose to pay now and invest in natural, admittingly more expensive clothing and garments, so that you don't have to pay later when needing to restore your health. Preventative is more desirable than curative. Okay, now we're back to the blog again. Unlike natural fibers harvested by farmers, commonly used synthetic fibers are mass-produced from petrochemicals to uniform strengths, lengths, and colors, easily customized to specific applications. Relentless competition from synthetics and the current global economic downturn impact the livelihoods of millions of people who depend on natural fiber production and its processing. That's why in 2009, the UN assigned that year as the International Year of Natural Fibers, aimed at raising global awareness to the importance of natural fibers, not only to producers and industry, but also to consumers and the environment. Sadly, that part is rarely ever heard in the mainstream. So I want to pause again so that we can think about the importance that natural fibers have not only to consumers and the environment, or rather so that we can think of the importance of natural fibers to consumers in the environment. Forgive me. Losing that 1 hour of sleep over the weekend, I'm still working through that. So as we all know, we came from nature. And we will return to nature. In that time in between, we would be best suited to live a life that is as natural as possible in every respect. Natural beverages, natural foods, natural sleep-wake cycles, because our DNA very much resembles that of our ancestors, making it very stressful on our nervous system and our cells to be living a life that is so far removed from theirs. In other words, on a molecular level, we simply have not evolved beyond the point of survival without Mother Nature. My guess is we never will. The closer you are to her, the healthier you will be. That includes your fashion choices, folks. Make it natural so that it can make sense. According to Paul Chek, wearing synthetic fibers actually confuses your magnetic field because it blocks the natural flow of information that happens between your body and the environment. Your body, its atoms, the cells, and other coded information, it's in constant communication with the environment. That's why you can sense danger or being watched. When your body is unable to converse with the environment, not surprisingly, it creates chaos. I came across another fascinating article on a site called Empowered Sustenance. And on this site, on the 14th of July, 2014, the writer wrote about addressing her autoimmune disease. She said that she was dealing with her autoimmune disease holistically by incorporating a synthetic fibers detox along with adjusting other aspects of her life, i.e. her skin, her hair, her body products, her diet, although I prefer to use the word nutrition, her quality water, mattresses, and etc. That author went on to say, the choice to purchase natural fiber clothing reduces your toxic burden and the toxic burden on the environment. According to bodyecology.com, these are some of the chemicals that are utilized in the production of synthetic fabric. Polyester, probably being the worst of all the synthetic fabrics you can buy, is made from synthetic polymers that are made from esters of dihydric alcohol and terpenthylic acid. Sounds pretty gross to me. Number 2. Acrylic fibers are polyacrylonitrile and may cause cancer, according to the EPA, which is the United States Environmental Agency. Rayon is recycled wood pulp that must be treated with chemicals like caustic soda, ammonia, acetone, sulfuric acid, just to survive regular wash and wear. Acetate and triacetate are made from wood fibers called cellulose and undergo extensive chemical processing to produce the finished product. Sorry, those last points were 3 and 4 respectively. I've moved on to point number 5. Nylon is made from petroleum, and it is often given a permanent chemical finish that can be harmful. And number 6, anything static resistant, stain resistant, permanent press, wrinkle-free, stain-proof or moth repellent, while many of those are treated with perfluorinated chemicals, also known as PFCs, like Teflon. And whilst we need to research more to understand how wearing toxic fibers can affect health, we do have hints of the dangers of the chemicals. This Canadian study found on BMG Journals, which is a collection of more than 70 medical and allied science titles, found that women working in acrylic textile factories had 7 times the risk of breast cancer than normal population. And women working in nylon factories had double the risk of breast cancer than normal population. Another point to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that the toxicity of chemicals used in dry cleaning is nothing to play with. During dry cleaning, garments are doused with toxic chemicals such as and forgive me for chewing this up, perchloroethylene, or PERC for short. Back to the United States Environmental Agency and their fact sheet on PERC, they state, breathing PERC for short periods of time can adversely affect the human nervous system. And breathing PERC over longer periods of time can cause liver and kidney damage in humans. Workers exposed repeatedly to large amounts of PERC in the air, can also experience memory loss and confusion. Laboratory studies show that PERC causes kidney and liver damage and cancer in animals exposed repeatedly by inhalation and by mouth. Repeated exposure to large amounts of PERC in the air may likewise also cause cancer in humans. What a message. Okay. Who else out there is like me thinking, what in the world? Everything out here, it's like it's designed to make us sick. Kind of makes you go, right? But listen, I too own garments that are dry clean only. And so I had to go and do a quick online search for dry cleaners in the area that are eco-friendly and sustainable and are PERC free. And it turns out I was able to find a couple. So sometimes hope can just be a mere search away. So have a look online and see what you can find in your neck of the woods. So later on, I found myself on another site, this one called wildfibers.co.uk, and I came across their list of 9 reasons why we should switch to natural fibers. And I'm going to read them out for you. Reason numero 1. Natural fibers are comfortable to wear. Natural fibers breathe, keeping you comfortable in hot weather by absorbing perspiration and releasing it into the air. Synthetic fibers cannot breathe. They are more compact. Polyester clothing, for example, can make you feel clammy and sweaty in warm weather. The second reason why you might want to consider going natural in so far as your fashion. Natural fibers are often great insulators. Wool is an excellent insulator against both heat and cold, and so are down feathers, by the way. I live by having down duvets. So, anyways, continuing on. Wool fiber has a natural crimp, which is the technical name for the teeny tiny little waves along the length of the fiber. The spaces created by the waves traps pockets of air. A woolen jumper, therefore, will do a much better job of keeping you warm in the winter than an acrylic one. Reason number 3. Natural fibers can be good for sensitive skins. People with sensitive skins are less likely to get allergies or rashes if they wear clothing made with natural fibers. Organic natural fibers are even better as they are not treated with chemicals that cause allergic reactions. Research also found that linen sheets can help prevent painful sores in bedridden patients. Spread the word. I think a lot of people might be happy to hear that. Number 4. Your fourth reason for potentially switching to natural fibers. Natural fibers are trendy. Natural fibers are fashionable, and the fiber of choice for many young designers who want to produce ethical clothing. I really agree with that one, I have to say. Number 5, natural fibers are a renewable resource. The source of natural fibers can be replenished with the passage of time, unlike synthetic fibers. Plants that produce fibers can be grown and harvested again and again. Flax and jute are grown as annuals, while sisal plants are harvested for about 10 years, and kapuk trees can produce fiber for 60 years or more. Number 6, natural fibers are biodegradable. That's right, natural fibers decompose naturally through the action of fungi and bacteria, not adding to waste mountains. Most synthetic fibers, on the other hand, are difficult to dispose of. Recycling them requires sorting, and when they are incinerated, they produce pollutants. Even bags that claim to be biodegradable, at the end of the day, they just break down into smaller bits of plastic that can get into the food chain. Ooh, that sent a shiver down my spine. All right, number 7, natural fibers can be carbon neutral. Plant fibers do not contribute towards global warming, as their production cycle is usually carbon neutral, i.e. they absorb at least the same amount of CO2 that they emit. In addition, organic waste produced during processing can be used as fuel and generate electricity, stock feed, and housing materials. Reason number 8, choice of natural fiber sources. This one I was not expecting, but I like it. By using natural fibers, you have more control over where your textiles come from. You can even choose between helping farmers in developing countries using fiber produced in your local area or even grown on your own. Alternatively, you can help farmers in developing countries by using jute bags, sisal string, cushions stuffed with kapuk, or buying textiles made with hemp, silk, and other natural fibers, or even spin baby camel and other unusual animal fibers. And number 9. 9, by the way, is the number of completion. Or is that 4? Numerologists out there, you let me know. Natural fibers fit with the organic movement, and this is true. So if you're wearing organic clothing and household textiles are a natural extension to eating organic food, why would you choose synthetic fibers, right? So for example, organic cotton does not have the environmental concerns, say, over heavy use of pesticides and water consumption that, for example, non-organic cotton would. Some people who think that they are allergic to wool often find that they are actually allergic to the chemicals used to treat wool and can actually wear organic wool. Ba-ba! Did I convince you? I mean, think about it. The proof is kind of right there in the pudding, wouldn't you say? All right. Because I always like to leave you with something to get you started and on your way, I'm going to list for you just 5 clothing manufacturers that make sustainable garments. I found them to be on this site called The Good Trade. So if you do a little Google search, you can come across this article too. And the name of this particular article on thegoodtrade.com is Clean Up Your Closet with these 15 organic clothing brands. The first 5 being the following. Number 1, Organic Basics. They are based out of Copenhagen, Denmark. Boy, I can't wait till we can travel again. They produce eco-friendly essentials, and they are perfect for the on-the-go, especially their Silvertech technology, which helps keep you fresh after wear, so you can wash less. Groceries Apparel. Now, these guys I've actually tried to order 3 or 4 times from and have just been unsuccessful in receiving their packages, not because they didn't send them out, but because I was always moving around the country. But they're based out of LA. Their stuff looks really comfy and cozy, really gives you that LA vibe. They have a minimal carbon footprint. And it looks like it's great stuff to wear for yoga. And as a yoga teacher and a yogi, I'm always looking for sustainable, natural, and organic yoga leggings, which shockingly are not that common out there on the market. A lot of synthetic stuff out there. So I would recommend to any practicing yogis out there, give yourself an early birthday present or an early Christmas present this year. Buy yourself at least one yoga outfit that's all natural, and feel how your practice changes and evolves when you're in natural clothing. Moving on, number 3, Pact, spelled P-A-C-T, Pact. And they're out of Boulder, Colorado. Colorado's always doing really impressive stuff, I have to say. They have underwear and other garments that are made from 100% pesticide-free organic cotton. Whoop! Sounds like a good deal to me. Thought. These guys make more sort of like timeless pieces, and they use fibers that are organic, like organic cotton, bamboo, and hemp, and they make like really easy, just like sort of effortless, timeless clothing, as stated. And they're based out of London, UK. Number 5, Brook There, spelled B-R-O-O-K, There, T-H-E-R-E. They specialize in undergarments. They're based out of Portland, and they are sort of like a minimalist brand. They also work with certified organic cotton, and also they also do sustainable lingerie. So not just your everyday t-shirt bras, but also your sexy time wear. So like I said, the list actually includes 15. I don't want to take all of your time up. I figured you could look it up yourself when you're ready to make that change and when you're genuinely interested. And can I leave you with something else before I sign off? If you're considering making the switch to natural fibers for your closet, can you also consider adding natural fibers to your linen closet? Because the same principles apply to your bed sheets and towels, folks. I could have done a whole other podcast on just that, but really, I don't think there's any need, because if you buy into the idea of wearing natural fibers, I'm sure that you can also buy into the idea of sleeping, sitting on, and drying yourself off with natural fibers. All right, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Thank you for choosing to spend this part of your day with me. I don't take it for granted. And tell me, what you think? What did you like or dislike about this episode? What's your take on natural versus synthetic fibers? Share your ideas with me, because I'm also learning. I don't have it all together, trust me. As always, you can find me at AlkaliYogi on all the socials. And whilst you're there, please let me know if there's a specific topic request that you have. I promised that this was going to be a conversation, so I want your input in what you want to talk about next. Off I go for now, with love. As always, be well and stay well. Signing off, the AlkaliYogi.